The first drink did not break your standard. It opened a version of you that was waiting behind it. You don't have a drinking problem. You have a permission problem. Alcohol is just the most efficient key. This is Iron Suits where strength wears a crown. I am Marwan Kilu. Before we go anywhere else, let me tell you what this episode is not. It's not a lecture on alcohol. It's not a conversation about units or limits or the health consequences of drinking or the case for sobriety. The internet has done that to death, and no serious man needs another version of it. That is not what this is. This is about function. And when I say he, don't miss this. I'm not talking about some random man. I'm putting you across the table from yourself. Because if I say you too early, you start building a defense. If I say he, you watch. You judge a move. You see the pattern before your ego can clean it up. And then the uncomfortable part happens. You start sounding familiar. Not how much he drinks, not whether he drinks, what the drink does, what it opens, what becomes available after the glass is in his hand that was not available before it. That's where we're going. He arrived at the private members club sharp. Not loud, not loose, not looking for a blowout. Jacket right, phone away, handshakes done. The kind of place where the wine list is serious. The waiter knows when not to interrupt, and nobody at the table treats the evening like a cheap night out. He stepped out of the car in good order, standard intact. He knew the plan. Sensible food, no second drink, no dessert he didn't need. Leave clean. Nothing heroic. Just the man he said he was before he arrived. Measured, in control, nothing sloppy. The danger is not that alcohol turns him into someone else. The danger is that it gives him access to someone who was already there. The first drink was offered. He said, "Go on then," or "I'll have one." Or he simply nodded when the waiter appeared. Some version of yes. Casual, considered, unremarkable. Rooms like this have rules. The first drink belongs to the table. Refusing it feels louder than accepting it. And he did not come here to be loud. The glass arrived. He was not thirsty. He was ready for the version of himself the drink permitted. Now, the release. Not drunkenness. One drink does not produce drunkenness in a man. of his size and experience and tolerance. Now this is better. One drink does something smaller, more dangerous. It gives him permission without making him look compromised. Permission. The grip loosens. Not his grip on the glass, the grip on the standard. The standard that was present before the private members club, before the car, before the evening began. That version relaxes slightly. Not enough for anyone else to clock it. Not enough for the table to change. Just enough for him to know the lock moved. The same way a door loosens when the key turns. Not open yet, but the mechanism has changed. The resistance is different. The first drink did not change his values. It changed which values were enforced. Now watch the switch. Before the drink, he is operating under jurisdiction 1. Jurisdiction 1 is the standard he maintains in his working life, in his considered decisions, in the hours when he is fully in command of what he is doing and why. The clean version. He knows what he'll eat. He knows what he will drink. He knows how the evening goes when it stays under the original standard. The food stays sensible. The second drink never gets ordered. He leaves with the standard still intact. After the drink, jurisdiction 2 takes a seat. The permitted version is not chaos. It is not abandonment. It does not look different from across the table. Same jacket, same voice, same social control. Different permission system underneath. The unlocked version is subtle. It is the man who opens the menu differently. The fries he wasn't going to touch. The extra bread he suddenly wants. The sauce he would have skipped. And when someone says, "Shall we get another?" the answer is no longer the answer he arrived with. Now it is, "Why not?" The dessert becomes social. Everyone else is having one, which is true, which is also a reason that only carries weight after the key has turned. He calls it social. His body called it a different jurisdiction. This is the part that most men miss. It's not about control. This is a man who is in control. He's not stumbling. He's not saying things he does not mean. He is not doing things he cannot explain tomorrow. He looks in control. This is the trap. But control is not the question. Continuity is. A man can be completely in control and still be divided. He can keep his head and still be operating under a different standard than the one he arrived with. The control is intact. The continuity, the unbroken thread of the version before the key turned, is not. He is not alcohol dependent. He is permission dependent. Alcohol is just the cleanest activator. Now watch how it compounds. He looks at it differently after the first drink. Not consciously, he does not think, now that I've had a drink, I will order differently. He just finds the options that the clean version would have dismissed more interesting than they were 20 minutes ago. The original standard is still technically present. He knows what the man who arrived would choose. He is just not in that jurisdiction anymore. And the man after the glass has a different relationship with the table. Then the second drink. The second drink does not require the same consideration as the first, because the first already turned the key. The part of him that would have stopped it is no longer holding the room. Why not Anu sounds intelligent after the key has turned? But the drink arrived, and it is the unlocked version at the table. The drink did not make the decision. It made the decision easier to admit. Then the dessert that becomes social. Then the late night food if the evening extends. Then the conversation that justifies each subsequent choice as part of the evening. It's a good night. We don't do this often. This is what the evening is. A chain of reasonable alibis that are all true and all happening inside their jurisdiction that was unlocked 90 minutes ago. He does not need alcohol to enjoy the evening. He needs it to access the version of himself that lowers the standard without guilt. Not hangover, not drama. He is not a man who overdrinks. That was never the point. He wakes up and he is fine. A little aware, maybe, of how the evening went. A little conscious of the total that the body received. He does the audit without calling it an audit. Good night, good company, good food, nothing outrageous. Which is how men like this hide from the part they know. He knows how it went after the first drink. He knows what the permitted version ordered. He knows what the unlocked version agreed to. He knows the distance between who he arrived as and who was at the table by the time the evening ended. He does not identify this as a drinking problem. He is correct. It is not a drinking problem. It is a divided standard with a very clean switch. The drink did not make him inconsistent. It gave his inconsistency a glass. This is the part he does not want to look at. He was already divided before the drink. The permitted version did not come into existence when the glass arrived. That second version was already built, waiting for the right excuse to take the seat. The drink was the easiest key in the room where the glass already belongs. But the drink is not it's not the system. The system is the divided standard. Two versions of the same man at the same table. That split was there before the glass arrived. The glass is just the key that the lock was designed to respond to. And here's what that means. Removing the drink does not remove the splits. A man who stops drinking but has not addressed the divided standard has not addressed the problem. He has removed one key from a lock that has others. The social event becomes a key. The holiday becomes a key. The barbecue becomes a key. The pleasant afternoon becomes a key. The split remains. The keys are everywhere. He is not alcohol dependent. He is permission dependent. The drink is just the most acceptable key in the room. The issue is not the key. The issue is that he built a lock. There are two versions of him at every private members club evening and every summer social event where the glass arrives. The version that arrived and the version that was waiting. The drink does not create the second version. It announces that the man after the glass has arrived. And the body, which does not process social context, which does not distinguish between the clean version and the permitted version, which does not adjust its arithmetic for the glass's plausible deniability, the body received the second version. It processed the menu of the man after the glass. It processed the second drink and the dessert and the late night decision. It processed all of it with the same indifference it applies to everything. Without regard for the elegance of the establishment. Without regard for the quality of the wine list. Without regard for the reasonableness of the occasion. The drink did not make him inconsistent. It gave his inconsistency a glass. This is Iron Suits. I am Marwan Kilu. The next time the glass arrives, watch what happens when... The next time the glass arrives, watch what happens before you drink it. Not at the table, in you. Because a drink is not the problem. The problem is the version of you that feels relieved when it appears. The glass did not create the permission. It proved the permission was already there.